Hey everyone, so this one's more of a calm energy today. I've woke up and had a really profound kind of morning. It's not something that's kind of new, but it's more of a reminder for myself. And ultimately, I'm a sharer, so I want to share it. A lot of the time we spend so much time stuck in our minds, playing out these stories, illusions, fears, narratives being the major word. And those thoughts are a reflection of your experience. The mind state is a reflection of the inner protector of the past. That's a good way of putting it. Especially as a woman who, when we have triggers of emotional states, the inner savior, which is the mind, is trying to alert you to how to react to the emotion as if you are living in the past. And we can get so sucked in by it that we can be walking around our lives completely asleep to the actual reality that we are existing in. As I like to say, I said to a friend, we are an ant in a big anthill. But when we exist in our mind, we place ourselves as Godhead in our experience, and we create the experience that exists within outwardly, but we create it through the perception that we place upon our world through projection of the inner state to the outer. This is a big topic, and mindfulness, I think when we are learning to be mindful, mindfulness is a practice. Mindfulness cannot be, achieved with one breakthrough. Normally you need to have the same breakthrough 20 times over to really make it stick. And it also comes through practice of surrender. And what that basically means is surrendering the I for the collective experience. And what I mean by the collective experience is placing yourself in ant in the world, because then you place yourself in the mindset of abundance naturally, because we, instead of sitting there and thinking that our little world is so small compared to the big wide world of the actual reality, we can then come from such a place of abundance, because there's so many experiences that we haven't experienced. There are so many different people that we haven't met. There are so many things that are still exist outside of us to learn. And that's when we sit ultimately very heart-centered in the unknown, rather than living in the head in the known. This I find so difficult naturally, because we go back to sleep. Just like every night we get back into bed, we all go back to sleep, and we all re-experience the same known reality. And that's where we have to have these reminders of suffering to go, oh, we're back in that suffering mindset that I've experienced 20,000 times over, and it doesn't serve me anymore. And now I need to actively practice being present in the reality of where I am. So right now, instead of being in my mind playing out the ego's internal drama, is ultimately getting in the present where peace exists outside of me. I just have to choose to step into it. Get out of the head and actually step into it. So with my external reality, it is a beautiful sunny day that I get to choose to enjoy and choose to have pleasure in, because that's what the Creator has given me. But me placing myself as creator, and we are all creators in our own right, but sometimes creation comes from desire, and desire naturally creates suffering. And although I am very much a fan of manifesting a life that you desire, I think a lot of the time we internalize our desires so much that we can be of the vibration of lack, which then exists as, you know, the lack mentality, the lack mindset. Where placing yourself outside of yourself, there is also that other thing of, you know, be careful what you wish for, be careful what you desire, because you will always get what you want, but it isn't necessarily what you need. Getting what you need is being free of the self, to place yourself outside of the reality, to literally receive, being in the feminine and receiving what something higher than yourself has to give you. Because the thing that is higher than yourself knows you more than you know yourself, so to speak. So for me, I always say, I would love this, I would love that, I would love this, I would love that. But it comes in such a way that when it manifests, there's something wrong with it. Or I perceive that there's something wrong with it. And when something comes through unexpectedly because I've not desired it, or I've not been attached to it, that's the main word I would say. It is about attachment. I've not been attached to it. I fully receive it and don't judge it, and I'm able to be in gratitude of it, because I was in the mental state of gratitude in the first place, because I didn't desire anything. I had no attachment to the thing. I could fully receive it. And this is part of the practice of the feminine work, the feminine journey, is to place yourself as the receiver of life. Not to necessarily create life, but to receive it. And when we use the analogy of the sperm and the egg, we do not create the spark of life. We receive it how we perceive it. So we as women, we receive the egg, that we receive the sperm, and it's implanted in us, and then the conception happens, and then the growth of life continues within us. We have to use life in the same way, that when you exist fully present and receptive, because you're not in the mind, you're receptive in your pleasure, in your internal orgasm of life, because that's what life is. Life is creative sexual energy, that we can fully be in pleasure and enjoyment and amplify it by how we respond to it. But how you respond to it is going to be determined by how you feel internally. The major practice that has come is understanding the alchemical process to amplifying the life and the opportunities that are given to you by you focusing upon your internal state of enjoyment and pleasure by not existing in the head and by softening the internal experience to be able to exist outside of you, to receive whatever is coming towards you. This is, it kind of feels like it's a bit complicated towards the end, but if you're following, you're meant to follow, because anything that you receive and you fully can comprehend is showing you that it's meant for you. It's like trying to learn astrology. The people who learn astrology are meant to learn astrology because they need that as a tool in their lifetime. People who don't know astrology, who cannot comprehend it and cannot wrap their minds around it, they're not meant to know astrology because it's not a needed tool in their journey. And when you understand that what you learn and what you can wrap your head around is part of the skill set that you need in life, you learn to understand that you're not meant to receive everything. You are meant to receive your tools for your journey and to receive. So if something isn't being received that you feel you need to receive, it's not meant for you, and that's okay, because it's not a tool that needs to be moved forward. But if you're receiving also lessons, and the same cyclical lessons that you get repeatedly, that's a part of wisdom that you need to take with you along the journey. To go, I did this thing wrong 10 times to show me how to do it right, and I've taken that lesson, and now it's a tool that I take in future. And interpreting what you receive and why you receive it is also part of that journey. But I digress. Mindfulness of living outside of yourself is heaven. Living internally in the self of isolation, loneliness, desire. And there's nothing wrong with desire. Desire is okay. It's our relationship with desire that is the issue. But basically, I lost my train of thought. But loneliness, desire, the inner state of health, all comes from attachment. And attachment to the I self is where it all begins. When we let go of it and exist outside of us, and we can harmonize between reaction or responding with life, we amplify it and we create heaven on earth, because we've been focused on how we feel internally to amplify the blessings that are outside of us. I really feel like I've reiterated that a few times, so that's letting me know that this video, I've come to an end. So if you have enjoyed, please like, share, subscribe, all of that. And I'm going to get off to the gym and exist outside of myself. But have a lovely day. See you later.